this? Okay. Okay, now that I'm a little bit more organized here, okay. Hello and good evening, guys. Today I think it is November 25th today. Sorry for just randomly deciding, oh, well, I'm gonna do a live stream today, but I figured that this might be a good time to quickly come on here and do something a little bit outside of what I usually do. So, but speaking of that, I mean, as I'm sure you guys have probably noticed in the past couple of years, the amount of videos that I produce has gone down considerably. So, this little live stream is meant to be my channel's, or my review of my channel's 9th year here on YouTube. So in less than a year from now, this channel will be a decade old. So is there anything that I'm planning on doing to celebrate 10 years? At this point, no. I have absolutely no stinking clue what I'm going to do to celebrate a decade of YouTubing. But yeah, the good news, I do have a little bit of good news though, if you're hoping to actually see some videos from me in the not too distant future. I have at least 4 video ideas in the works now, and they've just been in the works in the past week. And this is the first time I have bothered doing anything related to the channel in a long time. So, let's just do what I usually do and talk about the amount of views I had as of August 1st, so of this year, because that's my quote unquote, I guess the fancy term for it's fiscal year, but I call it my channel year. So that way it's doesn't sound, I don't want it to sound as fancy because it's not like I'm running a business here. I do this channel for fun because it's always been a hobby of mine. Copa Cloud Real, sup man? Not too much. Just another day in the life of Rockzilla. How about you? So, back to what I was saying. Sorry. So, yeah, nothing much. That's the same as me too. I actually have today off of work, so I figured, you know what? I thought it'd be nice to break the ice here and quickly randomly show up and do a hi UG Blocks. I just thought it'd be nice to do a little random stream here and kind of say hello and catch up with everybody, because at this point in time, I am hopefully using this as the catalyst, like the key to start the engine in the car to, you know, kind of start getting things going again, because really it's been a long time. I mean, and as you guys know, I have not done much in the way of channel anything. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, well, I guess, is it still called Twitter, or is it just called X now? I think it's just X or whatever. I mean, I tend to be on there and comment on people's posts, but you know, okay, it's X now. Thanks, Copa Cloud. I appreciate it. You and UG Blocks are 2 users that I have never seen here on this channel before. Do you guys have old account names you used to go by and you changed your names, or are you guys new subs here in the past while? I'm kind of curious to know, because Copa Cloud, I don't recognize you, and UG Blocks, I don't recognize you. Dawn and Neil, yes, okay. So you're new as well. No, that's nice to know that some new people have. Okay, you subbed. Okay, thanks, Yuji. That means a lot. Okay, so we got some new viewers in here. Well, probably time for me to start making some videos then, huh? Um, anyway, okay, where the hell was I? So, what I do in these channel reviews is I always talk about the difference in views from the previous year to the current year. So last year in 2023, as of August 1st, I had 71,281 views. This year in 2024, on August 1st, it went to 72,365. So not very many, that's less than 100 views. So, or no, what the hell? My math is way off. That's almost 1,000 views. So, what's my favorite sports? I would say hockey and football for sure. But yeah, also in terms of subs, they went from 212 to 216 as of August 1st of this year. So it went up by 4, and then since then it's gone up another three. So that's not too bad. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about. Okay, I see some emojis there. Hockey, so much fun. Yeah, I like hockey too. I like that it's more fast paced and that there's always something going on. Like, there's a lot of stoppages in football, even. And in soccer, there's a lot of. I don't know how to describe it, but there's a lot of lull time where there's LULL, not LOL time, where there's a lot of back and forth with the ball, but not as much action. Kind of like a midfield stalemate a lot of times, where one team will come close, they'll go to the other end, and then they'll come back. And then in basketball, it's back and forth with the shoes squeaking, and it seems like every couple of plays, there's another timeout. And even in football, I mean, whether it's Canadian football or XFL or NFL, I mean, there's lots of stoppages. You'll have a play where, okay, this team number one has gained 7 yards, and now there's like a 30-second or 40-second time clock, and then that runs, and then either they spend that time planning their next play, or they might take it, run it down, and call a timeout or whatever. So, yeah, it's interesting. But with hockey, you don't have that. As soon as the puck drops, bam, they're playing. And it's a lot faster paced. That's what I like about it. But yeah, so I do kind of want to jump into what I am into a bit more of the channel stuff. So I gotta be honest, ever since the NHL decided to allow advertisements on their jerseys, I have honestly found that I haven't had as much desire to make videos like I used to. I mean, I'm sure that most people just accept it and move on, but I gotta admit, I still haven't been able to accept the NHL being that greedy. Also, even with what was I thinking of saying? Yeah, even with Major League Baseball as well. It's like, and the NBA too. Now the NBA, I've never been an NBA fan. I've never been into basketball, so I've been a lot less. I haven't cared about the NBA as much for obvious reasons because I don't follow it anyway. But still, when they decided to put the ads on their jerseys, I was pissed. I mean, and now with the NHL, I mean, every game now, it's like they've got the boards like it's a video game with the digital ads and all that. And, something that I found interesting was that Neil from Post to Post, he was mentioning that with hockey, he does not watch it as much anymore because of the gambling ads, the digital boards. And I got to be honest. I mean, the gambling ads I'm a lot more indifferent to, but than he is, but the digital boards that look like something out of a video game, I don't like it at all. I don't like the ads on the glass, the digital ads on the glass stanchions when during gameplay, and I can't stand the ads on the boards now that are digitized. I mean, I'm just tired of leagues like the NHL and Major League Baseball and the NBA that make billions and billions of dollars hand over fist every single year, thinking so much about the almighty dollar that they don't even leave their uniforms alone. Like, when you make that kind of money, you can leave the ads off your uniforms, and you can go without these stupid digital ads too. I just have not been. I have not been as inclined to care for hockey ever since they started doing that. And if that's something you guys disagree with, that's fine. That's just the way that I feel about it, and it's what it is. I mean, I get that I can't change it, but it doesn't mean that I necessarily have to support it day in and day out either. And to be honest, I've only watched maybe 2 or 3 hockey games this season, and last season, last season, I only watched about a dozen regular season games, and then I was really quite an active watcher of the playoffs last year because we actually had a Canadian team go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, which was the Edmonton Oilers. You know, I think it is so disappointing that the Oilers could not beat the Panthers in the finals. Now, there's a certain viewer of mine, and you know who you are, who I know is very happy about the Panthers winning the cup, and I'm happy for you. I'm also happy, being from the Vancouver area, that, Roberto Luongo finally got to win a Stanley Cup, and he got a bit of good karma for everything he had to deal with in Vancouver as a Canuck at the end of his time playing for the team. He got to lift the Stanley Cup, and the Canucks are still trying to figure out how to ice a good team again that's good enough to go all the way to the finals. So I was happy for Luongo. I mean, the Panthers were a great team last season, and I actually believe that if there's anybody who could repeat as Stanley Cup champions, it would be the Panthers at this point. But the Edmonton Oilers, the fact that they were able to go all the way to Game 7 of the finals after being down 3 games to none, it was a hell of a story, and I was glued to that Game 7, but I was so disappointed when the Oilers lost. I think that was the most invested I have ever been in a Stanley Cup final Game 7 in my entire life. I just wanted those Oilers to finally end Canada's Stanley Cup drought. We haven't had a Canadian team win the Cup since 1993. So we're overdue. And it was so disappointing that, the Edmonton Oilers came so close and they couldn't do it. But, the fact that they got as close as they did, I must say, I'm proud of the team, and I hope that they can go all the way and win the Cup this year if no other Canadian team can get that far. So I wonder what's going on here. So Ishak, I know 1989. Are you a bot? You might be a bot. So maybe today's the day that I've... Okay. Well, why are you typing out 19... Oh, I see. Sorry. Sorry. Lately, I've had a problem with bots. So when I see random responses like that, it makes me question a little bit. So my apologies. But I know for one thing for sure, there's a big bot problem in general, whether it's YouTube or Twitter X or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I mean, I actually had a bot issue on the Facebook page of mine a while back where I actually was getting, I was just getting all these random views. Like there was this one video that I posted and it had like all my videos there on Facebook, they'll get like 4 or 5 views, which I expect that. That's, most people do not care about my Facebook page and I don't expect them to. But this one, it had over like 150 views. I'm like, what? What? Okay, so Ishak, I know, no, 1989, no, I know. Okay, no, oopsie. Okay. Okay. There we go. I think that guy was a bot. And if I will, yeah, I'm not gonna keep bots around to post stupid things on here. So unhide. Okay. Okay. So, your thought on the Winter Classic? Hey, Boston Warrior 48. It's been a long time. I did see your message recently asking if I'm doing that. You hope I'm doing well. So, I will talk about that. So the good news is Boston Warrior 48. Since you did ask me that question, I am doing fine. It's just the truth is I've had a lot going on in my personal life, and I've had so much going on that, my personal life's had to come before the channel. I just haven't had the time. I've had so many other things going on. There might come a point in time where I feel more comfortable going into that in more detail here on the World Wide Web, or at least on YouTube. But right now, I'm just going to say there's been a lot in my personal life going on. And there's been, the vast majority of it's been good. And the things that have been bad, there was one bad thing that did happen, but it's nothing that was, yeah. I think I'd rather keep that one a bit more personal. But anyway, your thought on Winter Classic jerseys. So I'll be honest, Boston Warrior 48, I thought that the Blues Winter Classic sweater this year was a colossal disappointment. I think it sucks. I mean, I don't give a damn if it's based on some prototype design from 1967. I mean, as I say that, I don't know why they didn't, if they wanted to do something based on the 1967 unused jerseys, I gotta be honest. Why didn't you just take the white prototype jersey with the St. Louis Blues word mark, the same logo that was used on that bright yellow reverse retro jersey from a couple seasons ago, and wear the white sweater, that white sweater, and dig it out of the prototype vault and wear that? That would have been 100 times better, and it would have been perfect for this Winter Classic against Chicago. And yes, I agree with you, Boston Warrior. Okay. I agree with you 100% that the Chicago's does look amazing. I I don't blame them for trying a faux back design and not doing a true throwback, but at this point, I'm just glad that they've, for the second outdoor game in a row, they have given us a phenomenal Winter Classic sweater. I was getting really tired of the Blackhawks in 2015's Winter Classic against Washington, the 2016 Stadium Series game against Minnesota, and the 2017 Winter Classic against St. Louis. It was disappointing to me that we didn't at least get one of those jerseys, especially the 2015 Winter Classic jersey they had in an off-white. Just a tan color, at least something different where it's not just a slightly altered away jersey. That they should have at least made that jersey beige. Now, the 2016 Stadium Series jersey, in my opinion, to this day is still one of the most tasteful outdoor Stadium Series jerseys that I've seen. Well, Stadium Series games are outdoor anyway. And then the 2017 Winter Classic is one of my that's one of my favorite Winter Classic jerseys of all time is Chicago's 2017 Winter Classic sweater. I love the retro Blackhawk logo. I love everything about that jersey. The only thing that sucked was that the Blackhawks only wore it for that one game. Okay, so Ishak, I'm in. Okay, and my brother. So Ishak, I just want to start by apologizing to you because I gotta admit, when I was reading your comments there, I thought you were a bot. I'm really sorry. I've had a bot issue on my channel a number of times over the years, and I honestly thought that you were some bot randomly typing things in to try to, I don't know, get me or potential other viewers to click on a link or whatever. I'm really sorry about that. I feel really bad. I hate doing that because, you know, I want to get the bots and tell them to bot off. But people who are actual regular viewers, I absolutely don't want to do that. So I'll do my best to be a lot more careful before I start, hiding comments or whatever. So sorry, Ishak, my apologies. Is it Ishak or Ishak? Am I pronouncing your name properly? I at least I hope so. Okay. And then Boston Warrior 48, that's okay. Glad to hear you're good for the most part, but I've been here since 2020. Thanks for being part of my comment sections on my videos over the years. Boston Warrior, it means a lot. 100% always great takes. I also think the Stadium Series should come back as a third. That all black jersey with the main logo needs to come back. Basically the home black. Oh, you mean the 2019 Winter Classic sweater. I'm glad that the Blackhawks kept that as a third jersey for a while. And I do tip my hat to them for only using it sparingly. I mean, it is a good design, but having that real retro aesthetic, I could understand fans not wanting to see it as much. So for the Blackhawks, I kind of think they're going to bring back the black third jersey from the late 90s and the early to mid 2000s, which if they do, I'm happy with that. I think it's a good design. I mean, basically flipping your white jersey into a black version and slapping the Blackhawks shoulder patches and their front crest on that, of course it's going to look good. It's a great design, so... Okay, so your name is Isaac. Okay. Hello. So, oh, you mean the 2014 one. Oh, you mean the Stadium Series one. I gotta respectfully disagree with you on that one. Now, if they bring back the original jersey that the Stadium Series jersey with the chrome crest was based on, that is a great third jersey for the Blackhawks. My favorite Blackhawks third jersey was when they brought back the 2009 Winter Classic sweater. That was an amazing third jersey. But yeah, I will say this. I will say this. that Blackhawks Winter Classic sweater they just unveiled, I hope it comes back. Like, even if they keep it as like a throwback jersey or get permission from the NHL to call it a quote unquote throwback, I would be ecstatic with that. It's a nice design. So Stadium Series, honestly, I always thought more teams should have Stadium Series like out west, like they need to implement Anaheim or LA one again. That was a fun matchup. Yeah, Anaheim and Los Angeles was a great Stadium Series game to see. The Ducks jerseys left a lot to be desired, but it was cool to see a couple of Western teams get a chance to play outdoors. So one thing that I'm ecstatic about is that finally there's a team that's never been in an outdoor game, another one that's getting a chance to finally step outdoors, and that's the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, I mean, last year's Winter Classic between Vegas and Seattle, I'm glad that that event gave two new teams that have never played outdoors a chance to be in the Winter Classic or any outdoor event. But, you know, we do still have some teams that have never played outdoors, and I really hope. Okay, so you're only 10? Holy cow. Okay. So I have some young viewers on here. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the channel. So where was I at? So with the outdoor games, I'm really happy that Columbus is finally getting a chance. Now I would really like to see Florida finally get a chance to play outdoors. I think they should really consider a Stadium Series game in Florida and have a matchup, a Battle of Florida taken outdoors. I think a Stadium Series would be great for that. It would give Florida a chance. Now that they've won the Stanley Cup as well, I bet there's a lot of buzz in Florida about the Panthers now, probably more than ever before. I think this would be the perfect time to capitalize on that with an outdoor game. They deserve a chance to play outdoors. I'm sure Utah will eventually get a chance to play outdoors. I can't think of any of the other teams that have never had a chance, because there was Arizona, but now they're in Utah. So they actually relocated them. So, and speaking of that, I didn't think that Arizona was actually going to get relocated. I thought that the NHL was going to do whatever they could to keep the Coyotes in Arizona. I can't believe they finally pulled them off life support. I mean, and I'd like to actually extend my personal sympathies to any Coyotes fans out there, because, you know, even though I was frustrated with the way that the Coyotes just kept being left in Arizona when we all knew how bad they were struggling. I mean, I was frustrated with that after the way the Jets and the Nordiques were treated in the 90s. And even with the way that the Atlanta Thrashers were treated. You know, but at the same time, at the end of the day, there are fans out there that did care about the Coyotes, and, you know, to just brush that team off like nobody cared is something that I think is a ridiculous thing to say, because obviously they did have fans that cared about that team a lot. And, you know, I think what's happened over the years is that I think as I've gotten older, now I realize that, you know, when you take a team away from a city and a region, there's always going to be fans that develop attachment to a team. And, you know, it's good that now that I look back, I think it's actually good that the NHL did try to make it work. And who knows? I mean, maybe somebody wants to and will build a new arena there in Arizona, and perhaps there could be a Coyotes 2.0 in the future. I mean, I will say this, I will miss the Kachina sweaters. That was the one thing about the Coyotes that I liked, was the unique sweaters. But I'm gonna drop a bit of a truth bomb here, or a bit of a bomb, and say this: I've never liked the Coyotes' black Kachina jersey as a primary home jersey. I just find it's too dark and muddled. It's great as a throwback or a third jersey worn sparingly, but it's not a jersey I want to see all the time. And I wish that what they would have done is introduced a green flip of their home jersey and had the black one as a third. I think that would have been better. And it would have been nice to have another team wearing some kind of green. Okay, so Boston Warrior 48. I still think the Lake Tahoe games were an underrated outdoor game. I totally agree. I mean, the reverse retro jerseys being worn for those events were cool. Colorado and Vegas, Colorado in the great jerseys. I just hate the fact that there isn't a team in Quebec City wearing those Nordique sweaters. But, and I didn't like that Colorado was wearing a Nordiques jersey. I'm not going to lie, but it looked terrific on the ice whenever the Avalanche wore it. I can't deny that. And the Golden Knights reverse retro, for a brand new team, I thought they did okay. I thought they were okay. I would have rather seen a red flip of their home jersey, their dark gray jersey at the time. That would have been really cool. But paying homage to the Las Vegas Thunder and wearing a red jersey and putting their shoulder patch on the front of a jersey, I thought was a really cool idea. And then Boston and Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia in orange versus Boston in bright yellow. Considering that they put those two outdoor games together right in the middle of a massive worldwide pandemic, you got to give the NHL some praise. You have to give credit where it's due. That arena has to be built first, but I'm not sure, just because of the political situation in that area. I'm just not sure anyone would be. Yeah, Boston Warrior, I don't know what the hell went on there, but I do not know how people would want to vote no to develop a site that was a landfill site. Like, I don't give a damn about some unions complaining or whatever. You telling me that taking an entire site that's just being left, that's just an empty lot, and building it into a resort area with a hockey arena that is also, and by the way, I think something people forget is that when that hockey arena doesn't have an ice surface on it, it can be changed into a floor for concerts. And when that is full of people, you can make it into a tourist area. You can have people come from all over the place to go stay at hotels in the area, shop in the area, and catch a hockey game or catch a concert or whatever. I'll use Taylor Swift as an example. And if I make your eyes roll, I'm sorry, but Taylor Swift is kind of the biggest music act in the world right now. So I'll use her as an example. Say Taylor Swift has 10 concerts in Arizona, in the state of Arizona. She has a bunch in downtown Phoenix. She has some in, Scottsdale, maybe some shows in the arena in Glendale. And then there was an arena built in Tempe. You telling me that those hotels wouldn't be full of a bunch of Swifties willing to pay big bucks to go see a show in that new arena? And that's one out of how many music acts out there? I mean, come on. I think they made a big mistake. So, Ishak, you playing hockey? No, I don't play any hockey in my personal life, Ishak. Boston Warrior, that's exactly it. I saw that comment already. Interested in it. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. I can see them maybe returning another 10 years. I think there are other cities, though, ahead of them, like Houston and Atlanta. I do think that Houston and Atlanta will eventually have teams in the NHL. I think that the NHL is drooling out the mouth at the thought of more expansion. Agreed 100%. I never liked the black jerseys as home either, although I thought the Coyotes had some really unique jerseys, especially for the reverse retro. You have to think some of those are rare. I can confirm that the purple reverse retro Coyote sweaters jerseys are very rare. to come by. Most people that have them do not want to sell them. And if they are trying to sell them, they're asking a pretty penny. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I don't understand that Arizona Knights jersey they had just before they relocated to Utah this year. Um, that jersey was stupid. It looked like they were wearing a pajama outfit. It was so stupid. Like, if they would have brought that purple reverse retro jersey back, or even the sienna orange one, or even a black version of those, it would have been a big seller. But that purple one was one of the nicest, crazy, over the top, sublimated jersey designs I've ever seen. It's a case where the reverse retro is better than the original jersey that it's based on. Um, okay, so Ishak, how old are you? Um, I don't I don't like to disclose things like my age here on YouTube, but if you want to know, let's just say I'm between the ages of 27 and 33. So that's all I'm gonna say on that one. But yeah. So anyway, um, what else is I gonna say? So I do want to throw this out there to you guys today. The truth is, there is a chance that I might put the channel on hiatus for a while once I get these 4 or 5 video ideas I have in mind turned into videos and posted here, because I gotta be honest, I've got a lot more going on in my personal life now than I've had maybe ever. Like, I find I'm a lot busier. I work full time, you know. It's juggling work and life is sometimes easier said than done. And it's a lot of times I find I come home from work, I'm tired, and then I got other things I got to do, normal life things, and it's like, oh man, and then by the time I get the little things that I need to get done out of the way, and then it's like, oh, I got this, and this to do, and then at the end of it all, I sit there and it's like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, well, I'm exhausted and I need to go to bed, or I just decide, you know what, I don't want to do any more work. I just want to unwind and watch a television show. That's it. So that's just a lot of what goes on with me more often than not these days, is that, that's the thing about life. It's like, sometimes it's hard to juggle between work-life balance, and I'm doing fine in that regard. But the thing is, you come home from like a 10-hour day or an 8-hour day, and it's like, oh man, I'm just wiped. I'm drained. And for me to start, making videos, because a lot of times my videos, it takes me like 10 takes to get them right sometimes. I've had videos where it's taken me like 25 to 30 takes to get right. And it's like, holy crap. It takes up a lot of time sometimes. And there's been times over the years where I've gotten really frustrated. And now that, I work a full-time job, and it's, sometimes my job can be it can be quite exhausting at times. Dealing with people all day. I work in retail, so, I have to deal with customers all day long, or I'm stocking shelves or whatever, and it could be a lot of work. So, you deal with people all day. Maybe you have a few jerks that you had to deal with in the day, have some shoplifters causing problems or whatever, and it makes things stressful. And, you come home after a stressful day at the office, and it's like, well, I just want the world to leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to pour myself a can of beer, into a nice ice cold glass and just sit there and do nothing. What? Okay, what is the time? It's 5 o'clock Pacific time, if you're wondering, Ishak. So, Boston Warrior 48, no, I get it. You have a life. It's the crime of your life right now. Some other things are important. Just know that we'll always be here and thinking about you. Well, I appreciate that thought, Boston Warrior. It means a lot. Time of your life, not crime. It's the crime of your life. Well, yeah. Okay, so you live in the central time zone there. Okay. Time of your life, not crime. Well, you know what? It is, to me, it's a little bit of a crime, metaphorically speaking, that I don't get more time to devote to my YouTube channel and my other hobbies, but that's life for you. Life can sometimes be a female dog. I'm not going to use the word that rhymes with itch, especially when I know there's a rather young viewer watching this stream, and it is YouTube, and they're, let's just say from what I've learned over the years is that their algorithm is about as sensitive as a man's nether regions. I'll just word it like that, and they're quite easy to trigger. So you gotta watch what you say, what you type, and what you do on here. And I'd even argue what you search on YouTube, because I've heard of channels that have been shadow banned, and I don't like that that goes on, but at the same time, you know, you also, if you don't want to have that happen, you got to be careful. But yeah, I will. So, guys, I've been talking for about 42 minutes. I'm going to get going here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Truth is, I do have some things I do need to take care of in my world outside of YouTube. So, do bear with me if this gets cut off here after being a random out of nowhere live stream, and you know, being a update or a review of my channel's 9th year here on YouTube. So what else? Oh shoot, there was something else I was going to talk about. I totally forgot. This is actually my 500th video here on YouTube. So that's also why I thought it'd be kind of cool to do an impromptu stream. I don't know if I'm going to make 500 more videos. That's another thing. I mean, we'll see. I do intend to keep YouTubing for now. But I do want to put that little warning out there that there is a chance that I might decide to eventually either make my channel something that I barely make videos on anymore, which I've already been doing, but make it more official. Or I don't think I'll fully suspend operations of the channel. I don't think I'd stop completely, but never is a long time. But I just want to make sure that I put that little note into this stream as well, because I just want you guys to have an idea, or to have a little bit of notice that, hey, you know, I mean, I have been doing this for 9 years, and when I started doing this channel, I didn't have as many things in my personal life to deal with as I do now. I mean, it's amazing how much my life has changed in 9 years. I'm no longer in college, and I no longer work at McDonald's. So, you know, now that I got a full-time job, I got to put on my big boy boots and go to work. And then when I do that, you know, got to make sure I've got groceries, and, you know, I cook dinners or whatever. And yeah, all a part of being a man. Busting your buns and coming home half the time really tired or frustrated and cranky. But I will say this. I do my best to not take my crankiness out on anybody. I really, you know. Hey, the Weed Seat 96. Hello. It's been a long time, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And I did see that your old channel got banned. Stupid YouTube. God. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, I'm not sorry. Sorry. Not. My bad. Not. Anyway, screw the sensors. They suck. Um, okay, so it's 5:06 Pacific Standard Time. So, yeah, so the good news is, guys, I've got about 4 or 5 different video ideas ready. I have 9 billion SUD. Okay. I do have about 4 or 5 different videos that I am planning on making in the not too distant future, which I am excited about. Have a good one, man. Take care, buddy. Great talking to you here. I'm in your Discord. Oh, you are? Okay. What's your username, if you don't mind me asking? Because I don't see a Boston Warrior 48 in my Discord. At least I haven't. Yeah, that's another thing. I will need to start revisiting my Discord server. I apologize for that as well. I got to a point. I basically have become an Aesthetics 2.0 where I've been so busy outside of, YouTube and in his case his website that, like him, I have not updated any of the concept showcases on Discord. And yeah, I definitely need to get my butt working on updating that and at least posting something to give you guys some kind of something. 9 billion subs. Wow. Well, I hope that channel's monetized. If you have 9 billion subs, Ishak, hopefully you've got enough people watching your stuff that you can make some money on that. And then, when you become an adult, hopefully you'll have enough money that you will be able to buy yourself a nice big house with a nice big yard, a nice backyard, a wine cellar. A vehicle that is actually reliable, not some old beat up 1982 pickup truck that is just a pig on gas and it breaks down all the time or something. So anyway, so so anyway, what was I going to say before I wrap this show up? Okay, so last year to this year, I went from 71,281 views to 72,365. So a little bit over 1,000 views to the channel overall, which, considering how little I've been making videos recently in the past couple of years, that's actually pretty good. So I used to care a lot more about subs and views than I do now. But obviously, with how busy I am now outside of YouTube and with everything I deal with in my personal life these days, yeah, I mean, I don't have time to worry about how many subs I've got or how many views I got at this. But also, my mentality has changed with time too. I'm just happy that anybody even enjoys my content. So, yeah. So, Ishai, woot. Okay. So yeah, the Blackhawks Winter Classic sweater, the new one. I love that they're finally wearing red in an outdoor game. I think it's long overdue. So I'm ecstatic about that. The Blues, I'm just so pissed off that they went with such a generic design. I'm also annoyed that for the second straight outdoor game, the Blues are wearing a cream jersey. Like, bright blue and gold do not look good with khaki beige. They don't. I mean, if they wanted to make the blue a navy blue, an aged blue, okay, that could work. But for Christ's sake, this is the St. Louis Blues. I mean, I want to see a logo on your sweater, not a stupid word mark. I don't care if it's a short term, short shelf life jersey. I don't care. Give me something decent. I wish they would have, as I said earlier, I wish that they would have simply taken their 1967 prototype white jersey, which was the inspiration behind their last reverse retro jersey, the bright yellow gold one, and just worn that. That would have been perfect. That design would have been perfect against the Blackhawks at the end of next month. But no. Oh, this is based on some prototype design. Well, if it's based on a prototype design, could you not have at least put a logo on the front? Or wrapped the St. Louis word mark on the front of this jersey around a logo? Like giving us something? Jeez. And another thing, there was somebody who's, I think I read it in the sportslogos.net forums today, but somebody said they're getting tired of all these off-white Winter Classic jerseys. And I'm starting to find that I'm in agreement with that. Now, in recent years, I thought the Blues 2021 Winter Classic sweater was okay. I wish that they would have used white instead of beige, but I thought it was fine. And then for the 2022 Winter Classic, oh, I can't remember who that was, which, because I know 2020 was between Dallas and Nashville. That was actually a pretty good Winter Classic. Nashville's, I wish they would have at least used bright yellow gold jersey instead of white, but it was still good. 2020, or sorry, that was the 2020 Winter Classic because the pandemic didn't start until March of 2020. I always slip on the ice. Okay, well, I hope you get better at skating because if you slip on the ice a lot, that could be really painful. What was I saying? Okay. So yeah, and then 2021 there was no outdoor game. We had COVID running amok at that point. 2022 was when the Wild and the Blues played. Because 2021 was the outdoor games in Lake Tahoe. And then last year was between Vegas and Seattle. And then Vegas wore beige. I do think that the beige was a good choice for Vegas last year. I thought that was all right. I thought it was fine. The only thing I didn't like was the steel gray on beige. I didn't care for that. I wish they would have used black. Because if you're trying to do a retro vintage sweater, back in the days like the 1930s and that, they didn't have dark gray. Teams didn't wear gray unless they were playing baseball. Okay, there might have been a hockey team or somewhere that wore some kind of gray, whatever. But what I'm saying is like a dark charcoal gray. I don't think there was any teams wearing dark gray back in the 30s or whatever. So it would have made more sense if the Golden Knights went with black instead of gray, but it was still creative nonetheless. I got to give them a little bit of credit. But I will admit it was weird seeing a team like the Vegas Golden Knights who've only been in the league for 7 seasons now, 6 or 7 seasons now, already being in a Winter Classic when, with Seattle, it was a lot more justifiable due to their immense hockey history. So for the Kraken to create a faux back sweater inspired by the Seattle Metropolitans, it made so much sense. They were a perfect fit for the Winter Classic, and I'm glad that the game was there in Seattle a year ago. But I guess it was earlier this year, January 1st, right? So, I for Seattle, it made sense, but it was weird seeing Vegas in a Winter Classic being such a young franchise It would have made more sense if I look at teams in the Pacific Division that could have been against Seattle. I think that could have been a really good opportunity to have the Vancouver Canucks in that game. Or even the Los Angeles Kings, I think, would have been a phenomenal opponent for the Kraken last year as well in that outdoor game. I mean, I think that it was great that Vegas got to be in an outdoor game. At least after Columbus plays their Stadium Series game coming up in, I think, March against Detroit, we're going to be able to say that in the past like year and a half at that point, we've had 3 new teams in outdoor games that have never had the chance to be in them. I think that's good. But yeah, I'm still a little bit perplexed at the Seattle Kraken having a winter classic against the Vegas Golden Knights. But hey, they made it happen. But anyway, I'm sorry, I've been rambling on a bit here, but my point is I do agree. I'm getting a little tired of every team that's the away team wearing a beige jersey. Like I'd like to see some white jerseys again in the outdoor classic. I mean, I gotta be honest. The St. Louis Blues Winter Classic jersey might be the worst Winter Classic jersey I've seen. It might just be the worst. I mean, one that I've never liked was Washington's 2015 jersey. I just there's just something about the layout of the jersey that I never liked. The decision to get goofy with the elongated numbers for something that's meant to be a vintage retro aesthetic or look made no sense to me. The logo was really good. The darker aged red was a great choice. And the logo were good, but I didn't like the overall uniform. And as for the Blackhawks, their jersey was probably one of the most boring. But it was meant to be a throwback style uniform, and on top of that, when the Blackhawks wear their away jersey, or in this case, a slightly altered version of that away jersey, you can't complain. It's one of the nicest sweaters in hockey. I mean, I don't think that the Blackhawks have ever had a truly horrible jersey. Now, the only ones that I have seen that the Blackhawks wear that I don't like were the 2014 Stadium Series jersey, where they took their first black jersey, their black third jersey in franchise history from the 90s and 2000s. They messed with the striping of the jersey. They put that chromed crest on the front. I didn't like that they did that. And then also the 2022-23 season reverse retro, putting a Chicago word mark on the front of that sweater was so stupid. It's a great jersey. It was a great jersey, but if that word mark on the front ruined it. If they would have just made it a perfect reverse of the barber pole sweater that the Blackhawks wore in the 1991-92 season and used that logo on the front of that sweater, it would have been one of the best reverse retros in the past bunch of them. Easily. But no, we have to do a Chicago word mark. Something like that I would expect more for a Stadium Series game or something. Not as something that's meant to be a reverse of a previous old design from the team's long history as a hockey club. I love the black NLXCT. Okay, I don't know what you're saying, Ishak. It was 1994. No. The Blackhawks sweater I'm talking about was worn in the 1991-92 season as part of the NHL's 75th anniversary. But I do think there was a game around that time. There was a game around that time where the Blackhawks and the Red Wings did turn back the clock sweaters for a game. It might have been in 1994, I think. I think there was one. So technically you might be correct. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to start wrapping this up now. I've gone longer than I had planned, and I do have some things I do need to do tonight. So thank you for the past 9 years. I am very sorry for the lack of videos here in the past couple of years. And the good news is I do have plans in the works for at least another 4 or 5 videos in the short term that I'm looking forward to getting that going. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, it's probably going to be a little bit more time before I get anything uploaded. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for showing up on this random heat of the moment live stream that I've created. Thanks again, you guys, for sticking around, for all the kind words, seeing and talking to some of you guys I haven't talked to in a while, like Boston Warrior 48, Weedus Heat 96, and just some of the new faces that, or new people that I've seen on here, such as Ishak and Copa Cloud Real, UG Blocks, and who was the other one? There's one that's named Donna or something. Okay, that might have been Ishak changing his username. Okay. So thanks to everybody who came on here. I'm going to call it a wrap at this point, and until my next video, as I always say at the end of all my videos, even 9 years later, take care, and as always, bye for now. Have a good night.